Hey, Ken. Welcome to what is almost fully Kinfolk Unscripted. I'm
Yes,
Martissa,
I'm Chanel.
and we're your host of Kinfolk Unscripted. We're super, super excited about our podcast launching, going to be shared with you this next week. Y'all will see this on Tuesday. So, yeah, it'll be next week. And just as a little get to know us, a little pre teaser, we want to do something that we love to do. I have been a sourdough junkie for a minute. I brought Chanel on to also be a sourdough junkie,
It's true.
and she's
I
taking it to
need
a
to
whole different level.
How?
Girl, you be baking them loaves back to back to back to back.
That's true. But I'm still very new. So, yeah, it's mere months in the game for me.
Man, but we were gonna bake some loaves. We were gonna give interview each other a little bit, and just kind of hang out with y'all, and tell you a little bit about who we are and a little bit about this podcast that's coming.
Yeah. Shall we tell the people? I first, before, the other stuff, I want to tell the people what kind of sourdough we're making. Are you doing anything special or just like straight,
I'm doing
sourdough?
straight up. This is some all-purpose flour, and we ain't doing nothing but flour, starter, water, and salt over here.
You usually use all purpose. Have you
I
tried
usually
the
use
bake?
all-purpose unless I was like getting spiffy and put in some whole wheat, put in a little buckwheat. I've done buckwheat before.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Hmm.
Have you tried the what is it called? The other flour for baking?
Bread flour
Or- Yeah.
in my sourdough? I probably have, but I don't remember.
Okay. I've seen people say that like it absorbs moisture like well and stuff like that. So I don't know. I've only used all purpose and whole wheat. That's what I'm gonna do. 15% whole wheat. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Just wondering.
Yes. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
making two loaves here. I start off by auto leasing my dough, which essentially just means like adding your flour and your water and letting them hydrate fully before adding in the sourdough starter and the salt.
Okay. I am starting off with a naked bowl. So I will be pouring my flour and everything in right now. Then I'll let it sit for 30 minutes and then do stretch and folds. So yeah.
Yeah. Let me get into it. So, no, I had a question for you. And I was thinking about this because for those listening, we have already recorded quite a few episodes of the podcast over the last few months, some with guests that we're super excited to share with you. Girl, am I about to use all of my starter?
But even if you have a little, like even if it's just the remnants, you can still remake it. Plus, you have that King Arthur coming. So
Plus, I have what?
that King Arthur coming.
No, I didn't even order it.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm,
Well, yeah,
I
you can
sure did.
remake. You can still, even with like the sides or whatnot. Like as long as you have a little bit, it can always be remade. I went through a rabbit hole.
I can't believe I did this. Okay. This is crazy. I cannot believe that's the first time I've ever done that. Well, God bless.
It'll be fine.
I'll ferment it a little longer so it has like time.
Hmm.
Um, oh my God. But okay. So, like I was saying, we have uh recorded a few episodes so far. And one question that we've been asking our guests is who are your kin? But we have not answered that. So, Chanel, I was curious, who are your kin?
I truly hate unscripted questions. um,
And yet we named our
I
podcast
know, right?
this.
Well, my blood kin would be, well, I guess my husband is not my blood, but you know what I'm talking about. So
Right.
my husband and my baby girl, and then, the original McFarlane's Five, who are my parents and my brother and sister. And then you, obviously, and just like that, our little tight knit extended family unit that we have on my mom's side of the family. And I mean, I truly, my dad's family is huge. So like, if we're talking about this bloodline, we're all over the place. But yeah, and then I have like some really core best friends that have, at this point, decades in and decades to go.
Yeah.
And at this point, they're like sisters. And yeah, I would say that's my kin.
Yeah. I love that.
What about you?
Oh, I would say like obviously my actual blood family, right? Like my mama, like the four women that raised me, two of which
Mm-hmm.
were not on this planet any longer. But my mom, my aunt, my grandmother, and my cousin, yada. And I say like core, that's like the center. Like I always like kind of see them
Mm-hmm.
as like the center, like my sun that
Mm-hmm.
my whole universe gets to revolve around. And then like my extended family, like obviously I feel like you in its own pocket. And then all the rest of my extended family. Um, absolutely. Similar to you, I have friends that I have been in relationship to for some for quite literally just about as long as I've known myself, just shy of,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then some that, like just quite literal decades.
Yeah.
And then obviously my spouse and my dog heavily.
Yeah.
And
And
then outside of that, like I say my kin are like black radical feminists and queers.
yeah. Yeah.
Um folks who see the world and are dreaming the world in a similar space and thought and praxis that I am. Including those that I don't know and I haven't met yet. So I would
And
say
we hope that's y'all.
right.
We truly do.
We
So
do.
yeah, no, I feel that, and I totally agree with that as well. Okay. What are you reading right now?
Ooh, good question. Well, you know me.
Yeah, give me like
I'm
top
reading
three.
like you
Give me
said
like
what?
top three. I
Okay,
said, give me
yes,
like top
because
three.
you already know there's 1,000 things happening at one time. Um, top three, I would say top one right now. I'm reading like actively Gather by I could not even tell you who it is, but I will put the book right here on the screen somewhere. Um, but Gather is a written by this Black woman anthropologist who is really discussing Black foodways, nourishment, and community in context of like Black family reunions, repasts, gardens, etc.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, so that was my little Mexico City honeymoon read.
Okay, so
Um,
that's okay.
yes.
That's cool.
So that was really good. It would be cool to have her on the podcast. So maybe one day we will do that. And then I just finished Intezake Shange's A Daughter's Geography. It's a poetry collection of hers that I had not had on my shelf. Then Mars got me for our anniversary, got me a first edition copy, which
That is so sweet.
just love. So I just read that and I am forever trying to finish Hours by
Oh God. by Philip B. Williams.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I swear, after a certain point, because like the book is like long, right? It's like 600 pages, which I wish you didn't know that while you were reading it, you know? Because I didn't know as I was reading. It wasn't until I was about 30% where Manny was like, that's a, do you know how long that book is? And I was like, no. He's like, it has to be at least like 500 pages. I'm like, I don't think so. And then, of course, I had to go look. And of course, it was more than that. And then it felt like it was going to take forever. And it did. But I
I mean,
thoroughly enjoyed it.
it felt like you and Mars read this book very quickly. I mean, Mars reads
Yeah,
books very quickly in general, but
yeah, Mars does read books really fast.
yeah, but I feel like you got through it super quick.
But I had been reading it for a minute before then. And then it
Okay.
was like as soon as I hit like a certain point, then I was like, oh, I'm in there. You know what I mean?
And it
And then I
just
had to
kept
finish
going.
it. Yeah. And then it was like, now I got to get on my Kindle because I need to be able to read it wherever I am, you
Because
know?
that
Because I
boy
was
is
also
fat.
taking, yeah, because I was taking that book with me, you know, around and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for you to finish it. I really want to talk about it.
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, I feel like I need to start over because I'm just like, it's been one of those books that I've just kind of like picked up and then read and then
Yeah.
put down for months and then picked up another section and read. It's just like, yeah, it's been one of those. But it is something I want to read more fiction. And so that feels like where I need to start. And then at some point, I'll also finish The Prophets, which is another book I just struggled to finish.
I was wondering if I'll finish that. I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, girl.
What happened?
I don't know if I
Did we
have
do the
enough.
same thing?
I do have some more over there, but like it's not. This one was like
Activated.
hot and ready, you know.
Right.
Oh, okay, okay. I was so scared.
Girl, it's also the way that I wish that we lived in the same city because I would be right on over being like, top me off on my start.
Literally, literally.
Some sick shit. But yeah, that's
So
what I'm reading right now.
okay, cool. I I'm reading Red Clay, which honestly, all of the books I'm reading right now are pick up, put down, and it kind of sucks because I really do want to get through them, but I just go through phases where I can really read and some where I just cannot. So yeah, but I'm reading Red Clay, which is a historical fiction about this family who has roots that trace back to being enslaved, and this girl is just now finding out after her grandfather was passed away, and so it takes place in Red Clay, Alabama. Um, yeah, very interesting indeed.
I have a
And
question
then
about this.
what?
How's she not know?
Well,
Are there Negroes among us that don't know?
no, not like that, but so immediate.
How? I mean,
I'm
when
just
is this
saying,
set?
huh?
When is this set?
I think in the 40s, but it also goes back to the 1800s where he
Okay.
like because right now it's telling the story of him. So and also let me not say she didn't know because it didn't say that explicitly. What happened was this woman came to the door right after the funeral and was like, "Hey, my family used to own yours, and I want to talk about this," basically. And so then it just goes
Gagged.
back. Yeah, then it just goes back, and so I don't have any idea if she knew. I know she didn't know that woman. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a whole different setup to the story. Cause bitch,
yeah,
what?
I know it's crazy. So that had me hooked. So anyway,
What's the protocol?
I know exactly. And then the whole brainchild I'm reading, I don't know who that's by, but it's just about like the neurological development of children. Um, and then slowly listening to The Conjuring of America. I think we talked about that one. How Black
Yeah,
women conquered America through their different, practices.
I want to read that. I
Um,
need to get that
yeah,
one
it's really
physical.
good so far. So yeah,
Very good. This is very specific to you, so
okay.
I actually can't answer this one.
It's specific to me. What? What is the question?
So far, what's the number one? I don't want two. I want number one biggest lesson that motherhood has taught you.
We're gonna have to come back to that because I really have to think about something like that. I can't just say some random shit.
Come
The
to
number
what is top of mind.
the number one thing, because then I'm gonna come back late. I'm gonna be thinking about this tonight and be like, that wasn't the number one thing. That was
Okay,
probably
and
like
that's
number
okay. It don't have to be perfect.
7.
You're not getting a quiz. You're not having a quiz on it.
I can't help it. I have to get to. So the first one is patience. So it's basic, and yeah, I have to have it. It is fundamental in keeping my sanity, in raising somebody who has patience, and having like enjoying the process. Because if you're trying to speed everything along, like everything just feels so like intense all the time. Um, so yeah, and then I have a sponge. So if I'm intense all the time, guess I'm gonna create another person just like that. So yeah, the patience definitely has been one, like, yeah, the number one. And then the second one is just that I can't be who I was. And that's just a fact. There's parts of me that, of course, like at my core, I'm Chanel. And there's a lot of pieces of me, or like the way that I did things, that I just can't do anymore, even if I want to be able to. There's certain things that I don't, but there's certain things I wish that I could just clean my closet in a day because I just got up and decided that that's what I wanted. Sometimes, a lot of times, I just don't have that kind of stamina. You know what I mean? Like literally. So like, or it's like, okay, well, if I do this, that's literally the only thing I'm accomplishing today. And that's just like not how I want to work. So yeah. And that's just like, a little example, but there's a lot of things that are just not going to be. So yeah, I think getting used to that it's a challenge, but it's also really liberating, I think. So yeah.
I love that.
Well, obviously I can't ask that question back. So. Okay. What part of your life journey do you think guided you here to want to do this podcast? And I mean, absolutely speak on the queer married piece and the lack of visibility on queer births, but also like prior to being married, like what do you think unknowingly obviously led you to this point of like, I like this built me for this podcast and this content, having these conversations, reaching out to these types of guests, you know what I'm saying? Doing it with this person.
That's a good question. Yeah. So I'll leave the obvious out. I'm gay and I'm married. And we want to have a baby. But I think that it's a great question. I think that one, there's two things that are top of mind. Well, there's a couple actually. One, even though I came out at 15 and that I, had an awareness that I was queer probably the majority of my life, right? But like prior to that,
Yeah.
there was a very real experience of feeling like being gay wasn't actually a reality or a possibility for me. Living a queer life, let me say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Living a queer life wasn't actually accessible to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially with my, attraction being pansexual, meaning that like I fall for it's not contingent on gender, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm rolling my eyes because I just thinking about it now. I'm like, I don't know. I feel my attraction feels very not man, pansexual at this point.
Is there a specific word for that?
But like prior to that, that was not the case. That was just not the case. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that part of what has led me to this and led us like to this podcast and wanting to do this project is that like that representation piece feels like life-giving, because I
Mm-hmm.
think that had I really, and it wasn't that I didn't know queer people or didn't see queer things or any of that, but I didn't, in my experience, truly, it did not cross my mind that I could actually have a queer life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was literally in my mid 20s when that was like, oh, I can make a different decision.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel like having more representation around queerness and like being pansexual, because like we don't hear people talking about being pansexual.
Not a whole lot. I mean, I've seen it, but it's not a whole lot.
It's not, I mean, not as much as you have lesbian or gays or trans
No.
folks, right?
Yeah.
Like those, the L, the G, and the B, or no, the T, not even the B. They are more, they have a lot of more visibility in our cultural whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not saying privilege, just more visibility. And then I think bisexuality has its own mystifying experience for people. Like it just is confusing to folks. And then so obviously if you add pansexual on top of that, then it's just like, what the fuck are you even saying? What are you doing?
I literally cannot.
So I guess I'm saying all that to say that like that has to be the first. I say the second thing is the business organization collective that I ran for years
Mm-hmm.
prior to this, when that's naked. I was doing liberation work. I had a podcast, so that's why I had the like physical skills to be able to do that.
Right.
But then also in creating Naked, my goal and my desire was to kind of pull these experts from all over a liberation context. I mean, if you're thinking about from a spiritual lens, you're thinking about from a very political lens, you're thinking about from an environmental lens, you're thinking about all of these different lenses. I wanted a diversity of liberation experts in their fields,
Mm-hmm.
or from a health lens, and have them on one podcast. And so for me, that's always going to be like a foundational. That is how I see the world, is how I experience the world, is how I think about things. It's just foundational to how I am oriented towards the world and to the planet and to people.
Right.
So I feel like in a lot of ways, my desire to do this was bringing both of those two things together, and synthesizing that. And then to do it with you was a lot of it self-evident. I mean, like in a lot of
People don't know us.
um Chanel, and I mean, we say this in like the first episode, and y'all will see this before, but for more context, like Chanel and I are blood related. We are cousins, in a very close knit family, but we are a year and a half apart.
First
And
cousins twice removed.
I wasn't even gonna say it because I was like, I don't even know all the pieces. But first cousins twice removed, allegedly. Golly. But also like we are also like best friends. And like I
Mhm.
think that, you know, or I mean, Chanel has also said before, we're soulmates. We're like, that's part of our experience and connection, and how we like articulate our connection to each other. So that's why I say it's self-evident. Like there it's just like in some ways, like we there's very few parts of my life that I went through without you, you know?
Yeah.
And so there's very few parts of your life that you've gone through without me.
And the
And
ones that I did, I have regrets.
right. And I think that like, so also like I think that we are similar in a lot of ways. We have very similar values, and also we have different perspectives about things. And so being able to talk about wellness, family building, living intentional life, like we're doing this in a very parallel place from kind of different offshoots of the thing. I mean, even just from the fact that like you're heterosexual and I am pansexual, you know, like that in and of itself, we're living in this like parallel experience with these like different nodes attached to
Yeah.
us.
What a beautiful way to put that. Little nodes. Like one plant, you know, doing different things.
Yes. Yes.
Growing in different ways. Yeah. Well, that's great. I think that was a really great, well-rounded answer.
I'm curious what your answer to this question is.
Well, let me read it again.
It was a hell of a question.
Yeah. Okay. What part of my journey do I think guided me here to want to do this? Well, I want to say birth because that's the obvious, you know, and that is the very true part. But before I gave birth or was, you know, a parent or thinking about becoming a parent, like, you know, I already had plans for what birth would look like. Those plans included home birth, you know, and trying to live a more natural life and in general, not living a medicalized life, you know. So those kinds of things were already important to me. I don't know if I knew at that point in time that I wanted to do birth work. And that's not what I'm calling this necessarily, but I'm just saying, you know, because that's what I know, that's what I knew when I was pregnant, that eventually that would be my path. And I know that now for sure as well, you know. That birth work will be my path. But I think like the foundation was being laid from all the things I was learning about midwifery and the things that I was learning about toxins and the things I was learning about the environment and things I was learning about myself. The things that I learned about Black Americans throughout my entire life. And, you know, obviously my identity as one. I mean, that, you know, being Black and being a woman drives a whole lot of the shit that I do. The way that I think, the way I raise my kid, you know, my marriage, it drives a whole lot. I'm proud to be both. And yeah, so I think that like doing something like this, where we get to center Blackness and we get to center queerness, which is also heavily, you know, indebted in Blackness. Let's just say that, by the way, as much as people want to act like it's not, is important to me. I think in general, visibility is important to me, but being a part of something that is positive and contributing to our culture in a positive light, and just sharing information. I think like I've always been the kind of person who loves to learn, but also loves to share the knowledge, because that can't be taken away from you. The things that you know and the things that you teach, it's powerful, it can change lives. But also like when you talk about like doing this podcast, you know, we want to have experts, right? Not just guests, but experts in their field, experts in midwifery, experts in queer birth, people who have experienced queer birth, people who have experienced all kinds of things, you know, and experts in what else? Child psychology, in parenting, you know, experts in gardening, right? We don't want to just be talking to you. We want to be helping to spread knowledge. And I think for me, like that's always been something that's super important. Especially now when, you know, every day more books are being added to the ban list. Every day more things are being taken out of curriculum that are factual things that happened in history, right?
And AI is changing our relationship to information and how we retain it and how we take it in.
Exactly. So I think, you know, I don't want to say like I always knew like this would be part of the path, but I'm not surprised that like it came along the way. And, you know, I don't know if we do talk about how this came about necessarily, but literally she sent a text like, hey, do you want to start a podcast? Or like, hey, I think we should start a podcast. And I was like, great. And that was kind of like, and then she told me what it was going to be about. And I was like, even better. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's just like, I feel like I have a deep level of trust with you. So there's not a whole lot of things that I wouldn't do. you know? And I'm thankful for that. And I'm really happy that we get to do this together. I mean, you're a hard worker, also. So yeah, I love that. I love that about us. And um, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Me too. Me too. I will never forget you being me sending that text and you being like, I feel like I just got proposed.
Oh yeah, I did say that. Yeah. I think also because I was like in a space where like, you know, being like having been a mom for a few years and like finally getting to the point where I'm like thinking about doing other things and like, you know, my own identity. And it's just like in a, you know, transitional phase. And then you sent that text. And that was also after, you know, I got another text asking me if I wanted to do another creative project. And I was like, damn, people think that like I can do these things. But like they're reminding me that like I've always been that person, you know, I forgot. Like, you know, it's not like I changed, you know,
Yeah.
I changed in the sense that I forgot that like I can think about other things besides motherhood. So, or like use it to, right, do good. But regardless, yeah. So that was really cool. And now we're here.
Yeah. I love that. My last little question is really gonna piss you off, and that's okay. It's not gonna piss you
Right?
off, it's gonna have you like, oh my God. Um, who are you becoming?
Well, I don't know.
That's real.
I don't know. And I feel like I'm finally becoming cool with that because even in like, you know, grade school and high school, I'm like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And it's like, you know, you say the answers that people want to hear. I want to be a doctor because everybody loves that answer,
Oh my God, they do.
right? So I used to say it all the time. My grandma was like, oh, you'd be a great lawyer. Yeah, I want to do that too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Honestly, I never fucking knew. And at one point in high school, I definitely strongly thought that I wanted to be a neurologist. And I was going toward that. And that, then I realized that's not what I wanted to do. So, you know, but then after that, I really did not know. Like, I always knew that I was talented and passionate, maybe aggressively passionate in certain instances, you know, and that I could do things with that, but I never actually knew what that would do. I knew
Yeah.
that I wanted to do something that would change the world, you know, eventually. And so at some point, you know, it did kind of drive me crazy. You know, it's like, well, what is that thing? What is that thing? But then after becoming a mom, I just didn't focus on that anymore. You know, it was like keeping this baby alive, keeping myself alive. Like there was a lot going on. And now I feel like my path is illuminating. You
Mm.
know, I'm seeing different things that I can do, things that I want to do. And even with those paths, I don't know exactly what's on the other side of those things, but I think like I'm not supposed to. You know,
Yeah.
I think I just need to follow this path that's opened up for me. So that includes this podcast, that includes going back to school, even though I had no idea that was going to be ever a part of the path, you know. And, you know, we'll see what comes of those things, just following the trajectory and meeting new people along the way, you know? So I want for sure to make sure that whoever I am is embedded in a community and is
Mm.
helping the people around me, you know, and somebody that I can be proud of and somebody that, you know, my family can be proud of. But otherwise, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. What about you?
Mm-mm.
We don't get to say no.
Oh my God. It's time for a stretch and fold.
Not for
Uh,
me.
you said what?
Not for me, not yet. Oh.
Um, I would say I am becoming more present. I am becoming softer. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties, but we back. Um, you asked me who am I becoming? Yeah, I would say like I'm becoming someone who is more present, softer, and in a place of more surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I'm saying becoming because a bitch ain't there yet. She is not there yet. Any way, shape, or form. Not want to say any way, shape, or form. Give myself more credit because I've definitely come a long way. I want to become someone, or I am becoming someone who is a little bit more gentle with myself, with those that I
Mm-hmm.
love, and is in a space of being like, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to know exactly the right answer. I can just lean into what is being called in my heart and in my spirit.
Mm.
And that I have cultivated enough self-trust to be able to like follow that wave. I think I'm also becoming more slowly, gingerly becoming a person who is has a more grounded faith in the universe, in spirit, in whatever you want to call, and is allowing for more openness to not just like
Mm-hmm.
literally just not have to have all of the answers and right paths up here, and rather be more um surprised and engaged in the magic of life.
Yeah,
I think that's
I
what I'm
get
becoming.
that. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just made me think about parenting, really. But with the magic of life, I feel like like me and Manny will talk about this. Like sometimes it's just nice to like literally see the world through her eyes because it's like you are a kid again, but forces you to slow down, and like literally just, oh, look, there's a hummingbird. Oh wow, it's moving on to the next. You know what I mean? And it's just like, wow, like, and I know, people could do that anytime, but sometimes, I get caught up in things and that really helps me refocus. And I just feel like now being like a parent, I feel like I see more magic. I
Mm,
also see terror a lot, but and not with her. I'm not saying it's her. I'm saying like in the world.
yeah.
But like there's the other side where it's like it's so everything is like whimsical because of course everything is play. Everything is fun and everything is yeah. So think I hope that like once you become a mom that you'll find that too, since that's one of your goals.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely can see that. I definitely can see that.
Who is your dream guest? Like
Oh.
just like anybody that's just like I don't like we might have to wait like 5 years for that person. Like who is like I really want this person or just I'm so interested in like what they've talked about or they've changed my life so much or anything.
Damn. I don't know. You know who the unhinged person that I thought of is obviously
Who?
Beyonce. And I was like, for what?
I know that's so funny actually. It would be great. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I mean, she got 3 kids. Like
yeah,
let's
yeah.
get into
Let's
it.
get
What was
into
really
it.
going on? But and we know she ain't gonna be honest with us. But I would want that would be my unhinged real guest, dream guest, is a actual real conversation with Beyonce where she didn't feel like she had to like be
Perform.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Like she could just
Talk about
be.
motherhood and her journey
Yes.
and like
And she
all
could be
that. I
more
mean,
unscripted, like where
yeah,
she could really tell us some real shit about how hard or how beautiful it is to mother and parent and wife and all of that in the intersections of her life. That would be dope.
yeah, yeah. It would be. I mean, especially
We would need
from
more than 5 years, baby. We would
I
need
mean,
way more than 5 years.
would absolutely yes. I mean, and if she ever decides to even do interviews again, mind you,
Right.
because there's that whole thing. But hey, we love putting it out there. We do.
Yes. So if y'all know
We'll just
Beyonce and she ready
we'll
to
just see
tell it
her at the
all,
next concert.
let her tell her we'll be in section 300 because the bitch can't be on the floor.
Oh, so
Oh
funny.
shit. How about you? Who feels super like this would be the shit?
If we could have Elaine Welteroth, because,
Who is this?
and you say this every time, and I need you to.
Okay.
Okay, so the next when we get off of here, okay, I want you to go look her up. She is a journalist. She has written a New York Times bestseller. She's in the process of writing another one. Okay. And she also used to be the editor in chief for Teen Vogue. I think she was the first Black one, you know. And so, like, she's done all kinds of cool shit. She's a mother of two. She had 2 successful, healthy home births, okay, with a midwife. And I am very interested, but I don't think she's really put her story out there. And I wouldn't even like be, you know, requesting that. But I'm just so interested in her story in general, you know, like how do you weave this all together? Because she's also created Birth Fund, which is this huge, you've seen it?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly Rowland's on the board. I think Mama Tina's on the board. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay. So
yeah.
we're getting
And I
closer
mean,
is
and
what you're
other people,
telling
but
me.
those are the people that I know. What'd you
Right,
say?
right. I said, so we're getting closer to Beyonce is what you're telling me.
Well, Birth Fund is so powerful because it's raising money so that other like families can have access to midwives, to doulas, to, you know, unmedicated home births without having to pay this exorbitant cost. So, or exuberant, exorbitant,
Exorbitant.
exuberant. I don't know. Edit
Exorbitant.
that. But yeah. So anyway, so that more people can have access because they deserve, you know. And I think it's so amazing that her, you know, part of her birth story included, I need to do this for other people because mine was so beautiful. You know, my experience was so amazing. And I just really love that. Outside of her just being a bad bitch for no reason. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like more in that same lane, I'm like, I would be super excited to have more folks who are parents that are like, I am a parent wholeheartedly in it. And also, I am actively chasing my dreams. You know, I'm
Right.
actively becoming who I know I was put here on the planet to become. And
Mm-hmm.
because I think that there is just this like mysticism around doing both, especially as femme folks.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if I would call it mystic. I think it is just fucking hard. And people do it. People absolutely do it. But I just think it's really difficult. And maybe the mysticism is around how,
How?
right? A
Yeah.
lot of times from the things that I've heard from those people who are doing it, it's literally about like at some point one of these things is up here, and at some point one of the, you know, we gotta like balance, trade off. Cause it's, I mean, it's damn near impossible to do all of it at the same
At
time.
the same time.
I mean,
Yeah.
just speaking from like a mental health standpoint and like physically not being able to be in 2 places at once. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
So yeah, but that's also part of the reason I mean, both her and Beyonce are, they do that. You know what I mean? They
Right.
live that life. So
Right.
yeah,
To be
it's
at the top of
absolutely
your
possible.
game and
Yeah.
to mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a few of them. I want a few of them. I want a few
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited that we're doing this. I'm excited to share this with y'all. And I'm like, just, yeah, it's gonna, I really feel like, I feel really good about it. I feel really good about it.
Time for my stretch and fold. How many folds do you do?
Mm, whatever I have time for.
Oh, I mean like in one, like when you do this one, like you do 4 or you do like 8.
Oh, I don't count. I go around like at least once, often twice. I am very unscientific. The only thing I'm really scientific about with my sourdough process is my measurements.
Yeah, I get that. When I first started, I was doing 4 folds. And then I started doing, like in the beginning, I'll do like 8, and then I start to lower it because it starts to get a little bit tighter, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I try to do 3 to 4 total, like, you know, in the process.
Yeah. How many rounds do you do?
Yeah, like 3 to 4. That's what I
Oh,
meant.
3 to
Like
4
around.
rounds. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I know that I think you had, oh, yeah, you said you're very excited about it. Me too. I absolutely am. I'm really happy to be doing this with you. Um, yeah. And I really do hope that it resonates with people. I hope people feel seen. I hope people learn something. That's really my
Yeah.
main goal. Visibility and knowledge, not like necessarily us as your teachers, but us as we've learned some shit that we want to share. We
Yeah.
found someone who knows things, that could help with X, Y, and Z, you know? That's kind of what I look forward to.
Yeah. Same. Same, same. It's all right, Ken. We got, at this point, a week and a half until the first episode drops. We will be dropping on Juneteenth. You can find us anywhere you get podcasts. You can find us here on YouTube. If you want to see us and watch us, we're always going to be here on YouTube for you to do that. If you want to just listen to us, then go ahead and find your everywhere you find your podcasts. And then
Mm-hmm.
honestly, follow us on Instagram, get us on Substack, get us on YouTube, and stay in the know because we gonna be here every 2 weeks starting Juneteenth, and
And
can't
we are
wait to
excited.
do it with you.
Yeah. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And let us know what you think. Leave comments, leave ratings. We look forward to reading them and responding and just creating a community with you all.
110%. Bye, Ken.